If you'd like to know 8 things to consider when creating a great outfit, stay tuned for today's video. Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and I am the Style Coach. This channel is all about refining your personal style and increasing your confidence. So if that is your thing, please make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and learned something new, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to join the community here. You can also find out more about my online courses, or if you'd like to work with me, then you can find out all that information down below. Now let's get started with today's video. I thought it was a good idea to break down an outfit and let you know about all the considerations that I take into account when putting an outfit together. Now it is going to be based on me and an outfit that I wore, but the ideas are there to prompt you into thinking the same way about how you put an outfit together so that you can feel confident in what you wear. So today we're going to be looking at this specific outfit. So it is more of a dressed up occasion wear type of outfit, but you know what, we're coming up to the party season, we're coming up to Christmas, so this could apply for you during this festive period, or of course I wore this at a wedding and this might be suitable for applying the knowledge to that as well. But really it doesn't matter what the occasion is, it doesn't really matter what the outfit is. The point is that you can interpret this information and apply it to whatever it is you're wearing on a day. I'm going to be covering everything from body shape, the fabric, accessories, bag choice, shoe choice, all of these kind of things. There's 8 things in total, so let's get started. The first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is the body shape of my body shape, and of course that of the dress. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I'm a slight inverted triangle, so my shoulders across the chest is my dominant feature, with my hips being ever so slightly smaller, bordering hourglass, and then a defined waistline. So just to give you a little indication about what I am and why I chose this dress. Now immediately you will say that, okay, that neckline shouldn't suit somebody who's an inverted triangle, right? Because we're always trying to open up that neckline, minimize the neckline. But I've actually gone for the opposite here. You'll notice that I've gone for a kind of a capped sleeve, which kind of gives more width to the shoulders, as well as a high neckline, which we'll get to a little bit later. But let's talk about those shoulders. So that capped shoulder is actually giving more visual width to my shoulders, which are already my dominant feature, right? So you might think that was a no-no, but we've got to take the entire outfit into consideration. So you'll notice how the dress is kind of fitted at the waist, so it's kind of really well tailored at the waist. There's no belt or anything there. And then it comes out in an A-line, and there's quite a bit of fabric there that allows to compensate for the shoulders. And so for that reason, this outfit worked quite well. It skimmed the hips. There's pockets in it as well, may I add, which is absolutely great because it adds a little bit more width on the hips there, bringing balance also to the upper half. And that A-line also gives that balance. So that's one thing I considered when I put this outfit together. I also want to talk about vertical proportions for a little bit, because this is just as important as anything else and is often neglected when we talk about body shape. So my proportions are that my torso is quite long in comparison to my legs. Now in this dress it works perfectly because there's actually no seams between the neckline all the way down to the bottom. You just see the curve of the waistline, the definition in the waist, and that's where the camouflage of the leg length begins, because you don't know if, you know, it's my legs are this long or this long or this long. It's completely camouflage, and so that brings balance to my longer torso and makes my legs look longer. So that's something else that I considered. So these are also things that you must consider when you're thinking about dressing for your body shape. You don't always have to follow the rules as long as you compensate in some other way. You also have to consider what it is you're trying to achieve. Not everybody wants to achieve balance in their look. In my case, I did want to bring balance to my shoulders. I did want to bring balance to my longer torso, and this is how I did it. You've got to think about, well, do I want to bring balance to my shape? How do I do that? Take into consideration the entire outfit. Now, the second thing to consider here is that neckline. So once again, we're going against all the things that should work for an inverted triangle. Okay, so traditionally we would choose something that's a V-neck or an open neck, something like that, that breaks up that solid block of colour across the shoulders. Now, we've already talked about how the lower half of the dress brought balance. I also considered the back of this dress bringing balance. So the high neckline for me was a really elegant look. Sorry, that was my dog just stretching there. The high neckline gives a really elegant look, I think. And we see a glimpse of the back of this dress is actually a cutout detail. The dress ties at the back of the neck and there's two long pieces of fabric that come down, giving this real elegant chic look. So the high neckline actually compensates for that open back. Now, of course, you've got to consider if you're okay going braless and all that kind of stuff. I'm okay with that, so it suited me fine. So I like that balance of completely closed at the front and open at the back. This is what you've got to consider. Let me know if this is helping you to think about your outfits and what you might need to consider in your outfits. Let me know in the comments below. Next up, let's talk about the weight of the fabric. The weight is always so important when you're choosing clothes for yourself and for your body shape. You've got to consider how the fabric folds on your body, the movement of the fabric when you walk. This is all really important and it influences how your body appears and how you appear. The fabric here is 97% viscose and it's 3% elastane. It's quite a heavy fabric, it's tightly woven, and for that reason, well, it's a medium weight fabric actually. It doesn't give the structure of a really heavyweight fabric that would be very stiff and come out and give a really emphasized A-line on the skirt. It does give somewhat of a structure, but it's not so flimsy either that it kind of clings to the body and highlights lumps and bumps that you maybe rather don't, you don't want. So when I move in this dress, there's a lovely fluidity to it without being flimsy in the material. So this is something I considered because that is also something that brings balance to the upper part of the shoulders. Now that medium weight fabric also allowed for the fabric to sit neatly on my body without, as I say, clinging to it and showing any unnecessary things that I don't want to be seen, any lumps and bumps, any evidence of cellulite, that kind of thing. Let's next go into shoe choice here and how I went about choosing shoes. The primary thing here for me was to lengthen the leg as much as possible, and that's why I went for something that was nude in colour, that was close to my skin tone. That was what was most important here. I could have gone for a barely there sandal. I went for a kind of a peep toe look, which worked well as well, I think. But the key consideration here for me was colour, bringing length to the leg, because otherwise I have this solid block of colour. And if I went for a darker shoe, it could have easily shortened me, which would not be very flattering. That's why I went for the nude colour. Now for the bag choice, this is also something you want to consider, and it's something that's often neglected or people's preferences often override everything else, which is great if you're confident with your preferences. However, if you're not sure about what bag you should be choosing or where you should be wearing it, then you've got to pay attention to that. I went for a small clutch bag which was embellished. It has a slightly gold tone to it. The most important thing here is where I'm holding it. I could have put that bag up under my arm. There was a chain on it. I could have put the chain on my shoulder. However, I chose to hold it in my hand down lower on my body beside my hips. Again, the choice was very considered, very purposeful, because I'm bringing balance to my shoulders. And that is why I went for that bag and why I'm holding it in that position. Colour choice was of course really important. I know what colours suit me really well. I'm a winter colouring, and so this choice of dress was no mistake. I could have gone for a different colour, of course, but I know that that works well for me. It gives great contrast next to my skin. It's in that deeper winter family, those cooler colours, this kind of a petrol-y blue elm colour, I would call it. But that works really well against my skin tone. Also, I just think it's an elegant kind of colour. It was an elegant event that I was at, and so this tied in perfectly. The next thing you want to be considering for your outfit is your jewellery and where you want the attention to go. Now, because my neckline was so high in this outfit, I wanted to keep everything else on the upper half pretty simple. And so I just wore my Chanel drop earrings, the same ones that I'm wearing today, because it just gives a little bit of movement around my jawline, which is where it narrows. I considered that when I chose my jewellery, but the high neckline was enough there that I didn't need anything else, so I kept it very simple here. I wore the same rings that I always wear and a small bracelet. Everything was very simple because really this outfit was all about the dress. There was enough going on in it, even though it's a block colour, everything else was just complementary to it in a very simple and delicate way. Finally, the last consideration for this outfit coming together was my hair. So again, going back to that high neckline, the shoulders with the capped sleeves, I wanted my hair out of my face because again, there was enough going on there. I had my simple earrings with the drop in it, high neck. So putting it back in that bun, like so, felt like the best option. Something really simple. It was chic. It's something that suits my face as well. And it complemented the back of the dress because there was a lot of things going on there. It was kind of a feature of the dress. It was open with the long two pieces of fabric hanging down. I wanted to make that a feature. My hair, it didn't need to be complicated. It didn't need to be fussy. Very simple, very chic, and it worked. That's it for today's video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, please come back and join me again next week. Thank you so much for watching. See you again soon. Bye bye.